Hyun-woo Kim stood in the Great Hall of the Galactic Council. The building was bigger than anything he had ever seen on Earth. The ceiling stretched so high that clouds formed near the top. Around him, strange creatures from 47 different worlds sat in floating chairs and crystal pods. Some aliens looked like giant jellyfish with glowing tentacles. Others were made of living metal that changed shape as they moved. A few looked almost human, but had too many eyes or arms that bent in wrong ways. All of them were staring at Hyun-woo with what he could only call amusement. "So," said Valterian, the leader of the council, "the humans think they are ready to join us." His voice came out as music, but Hyun-woo could hear the mockery in every note. Valterian belonged to the Etherian Empire, a race that had ruled space for 10,000 years. His body looked like it was made of starlight held together by pure thought. "We have prepared our application carefully," Hyun-woo said. He kept his voice steady, even though his heart was beating fast. "Earth has much to offer the galactic community." Laughter filled the hall. Not human laughter, but sounds that hurt. Hyun-woo's ears. The Zephyrian Collective made noises like wind chimes in a storm. The Nexus hegemony creatures clicked and buzzed like angry insects. "What can you offer?" asked a creature that looked like a walking tree made of blue crystal. "You still use chemical rockets? We have traveled faster than light for thousands of years. Your entire species lives on one small planet," added another alien. "We have built cities around whole stars." "You live for maybe 80 years?" said a third voice. "I am already 5,000 years old, and I am considered young among my people." Dr. So-young Park stood next to Hyun-woo. She was Earth's best scientist when it came to studying alien life. She watched the council members carefully, taking notes on a small device. Her face showed nothing, but her eyes missed no detail. Valterian waved his hand, and pictures appeared in the air above them. The images showed human cities next to alien megastructures. Earth's rockets next to ships that could cross the galaxy in hours. Human soldiers with simple weapons next to alien warriors who could destroy planets. "Look at this," Valterian said, his musical voice now filled with pity. "They think these tiny machines are impressive. They are proud of visiting their own moon." More laughter echoed through the hall. Hyun-woo felt his face get hot with anger, but he kept his expression calm. This was exactly what Earth's leaders had expected would happen. "We understand we have much to learn," Hyun-woo said. "That is why we seek membership in the Council, to grow and contribute to galactic peace." Peace? The word came from War Coordinator Thexnerian of the Nexus Hegemony. His body was covered in black armor that seemed to absorb light. "What could you possibly contribute to peace? Your species is constantly fighting wars on your single world. You have not even learned to work together as one people," said another alien. "How can you work with 47 different species?" The questions kept coming, each one designed to make humans look foolish and weak. Hyun-woo answered them all with patience, but inside he was learning. Every question told him something about how these aliens thought. Every laugh revealed their weaknesses. After 3 hours, Valterian called for a vote. All in favor of granting humans membership in the Galactic Council. Not a single hand, tentacle, or appendage was raised. All opposed? The hall filled with raised limbs of every shape and size. "The application is denied," Valterian announced. "Humans will be placed in the Primitive Species Observatory. You will be allowed to observe council meetings and learn from your betters. Perhaps in a few hundred years you might be ready to try again." Hyun-woo bowed his head as if accepting defeat. "We are honored by any chance to learn from the Great Council." As they walked back to their transport ship, So-young kept her voice low. "Did you notice how the Zephyrian representative's color changed when you mentioned our space program? And the way Thexnerian S-armor plates shifted when we talked about our military?" Hyun-woo replied just as quietly. "They are afraid of something," So-young said. "They are hiding it behind all that laughter." Their ship was small compared to the alien vessels in the docking bay. It looked like a toy next to the massive council ships that could carry entire cities. But as they walked up the ramp, both humans We're smiling. Back on Earth, President Ji-hoon Lee sat in a secret meeting room deep underground. The room had no windows and was protected by technology that could block any alien sensors. Around the table sat Earth's most important military leaders. They rejected us, as expected, Hyun-woo reported over the secure communication link. But we learned much. Dr. Park has detailed behavioral analysis on all 47 council races. Good, said President Lee. How long before they send someone to watch us more closely? Soon, So-young answered. Veltarian was trying to act superior, but I saw fear in his energy patterns. He suspects something. Commander Taemin Choi leaned forward in his chair. He was a quiet man with hard eyes who had never told anyone his real job. Let them watch. They will see exactly what we want them to see. Phase 2 begins now, President Lee announced. Taemin, activate the Deep Space Defense Initiative. It is time to show the galaxy what humans can really do. In the docking bay above, alien security officers watched the human ship leave. They had placed tracking devices on it, of course. They would monitor every move the humans made. What they did not know was that the humans were counting on being watched. As the small Earth ship flew away from the council station, Veltarian stood at a great window watching it go. His advisor, a creature made of living shadow, spoke softly beside him. Should we be concerned about them, my lord? There was something strange about their energy readings. Veltarian's starlight body pulsed with what might have been worry. Keep watching them closely. These humans, they are not what they seem to be. But we must be careful not to let fear make us foolish. They are just one small planet with primitive technology. But even as he said the words, Veltarian could not shake the feeling that he was missing something important. The way the human ambassador had accepted defeat so easily. The calm way their scientist had studied everyone in the room. The complete lack of surprise when their application was rejected. It was almost as if they had expected this to happen. Almost as if this was what they had wanted all along. Far across the galaxy, in a hidden base that no alien scanner could detect, other humans were already moving. Ships that did not appear on any council database were launching into deep space. Weapons that should not exist were being loaded and prepared. The council had laughed at Earth. Soon, they would learn why that had been a mistake. 6 months had passed since the council rejected Earth's application. To anyone watching, humans seemed to have accepted their place as a primitive species. They attended the council's teaching sessions like good students. They asked simple questions about basic technology. They acted grateful for any small piece of knowledge the aliens shared, but appearances can lie. Captain Minho Park guided his ship through the darkness between stars. The ship was called Silent Thunder, and it was invisible to alien sensors. Its hull was black as space itself, and special technology bent light around it like water flowing around a stone. Target system coming into view, reported his navigator, Lieutenant Dalsu Kim. 3 planets, 2 space stations, and what looks like a mining operation on the largest moon. Minho nodded. This was their 10th scouting mission into Council space. Each time they learned more about alien defenses, trade routes, and military bases. The Council thought they were watching Earth, but humans were watching them right back. Remember, we are just looking, Minho told his crew. No active scans, no communications, no evidence we were ever here. The Silent Thunder drifted through. The system like a ghost. Its cameras recorded everything. The alien ships moved in patterns that showed how they thought about defense. Their space stations had blind spots that human ships could exploit. Most importantly, their sensors never once detected the human vessel. Back on Earth, Dr. Yoonji Yang worked in a laboratory that did not officially exist. The room was built inside a mountain, protected by layers of security that would make alien spies give up and go home. On her work table lay pieces of alien technology that had been borrowed during diplomatic meetings. The power source is more complex than we thought, she told her assistant, Dr. Hyuk-jin SEO, but not impossible to copy. Their energy cells are actually less efficient than our fusion reactors. How is that possible? Hyuk-jin asked. They have been using this technology for thousands of years. Yunji smiled. That is exactly the problem. They have been using the same technology for thousands of years. They stopped trying to make it better because it worked well enough. She picked up a small device that looked like a crystal flower. This is their standard communication unit. It can send messages across the galaxy instantly. Very impressive. But look at the design. Yukjin examined the device carefully. It is inefficient. This could be built much smaller, use less power, and work twice as fast. Exactly, Yunji said. They have become lazy. They rely on old designs because changing them would be too much work. This gives us a huge advantage. Meanwhile, Ambassador Haiyan-Wu sat in another council education session. Today's teacher was a blue creature with 6 arms, who was explaining the basics of interstellar trade. Haiyan-Wu asked questions that made him sound confused and eager to learn. But why do you use these specific trade routes? He asked, looking puzzled. Would it not be faster to go directly between systems? The alien teacher's 6 arms waved in. What might have been laughter. Oh, silly human, you cannot just fly anywhere you want in space. There are gravity wells, radiation fields, and dangerous nebulae. These routes have been safe for thousands of years. Haiyan-Wu nodded as if this was amazing new information. But sitting next to him, Lieutenant Yujin Kang was taking notes on everything. She had been trained in military intelligence before becoming a diplomat's aide. Every detail the aliens shared went into her hidden database. Later, in their secure communication room, Yujin shared what she had learned. The trade routes are not just about safety. They also show us where their important worlds are located. If we wanted to disrupt their economy, these would be the perfect targets. Good work, Haiyan-Wu replied. What about their military? They are overconfident, Yujin said. They think their technology is so superior that no one could challenge them. Most of their defensive systems are automated. They do not keep large crews on their ships because they believe their computers can handle any threat. This was valuable information, and it was being sent back to Earth immediately. In the secret command centers buried deep underground, human military leaders were building detailed maps of alien space. They knew where every important world was located. They understood how alien ships worked. Most importantly, they were learning how aliens thought. On the alien side, surveillance commander Kexhallen was growing worried. He was a member of the same species as Valterian, made of living starlight, but his job was to watch for threats to the Council. His instruments kept detecting strange energy readings from Earth's solar system. The patterns do not match their known technology, he reported to his superior. These energy spikes suggest they have capabilities we have not observed. His superior, Admiral Korthvat, looked at the data with 3 of his 7 eyes. Perhaps they are just experimenting with new power sources. Primitive species often play with dangerous energies they do not understand. But sir, the readings are consistent with advanced stealth technology and quantum communication systems. Kexhallen insisted, these are not primitive experiments. Admiral Korthvat waved a dismissive tentacle. You're seeing threats where none exist. Humans can barely reach their own moon without help. What possible threat could they pose to the Council? But Kexhallen was not convinced. He increased surveillance on human activities, placing more sensor drones around Earth's solar system. What he saw confused him even more. Human ships moved in patterns that suggested they knew about the surveillance. Sometimes their activities seemed designed to confuse his sensors. Captain Minho was returning from his latest scouting mission when his communication officer brought him urgent news. Captain, we are receiving a priority message from command. It is coded level black. Level black meant extreme danger. Minho opened the message and felt his blood run cold. Set course for Earth, maximum speed. Send a message to all scout ships. Operation Daylight is now active. The message Minho had received contained terrifying information. Council spy networks had discovered evidence of a massive alien fleet being assembled. The official story was that it was a research expedition to study primitive species development. But human intelligence knew better. The Council had done this before. When a species showed signs of rapid advancement, they sent a research fleet to study them. The species would disappear soon after, their worlds left empty and lifeless. The Council called it preventing dangerous evolution. They had decided that humans were advancing too quickly. Commander Taemin Choi received the intelligence report in his office beneath the mountains of Korea. The room looked ordinary, like any military commander's office. But hidden behind the walls were communication systems that could coordinate fleets across dozens of star systems. "How long do we have?" he asked his aide, Major Berahan. "The Council fleet is still assembling, but our best estimate is 6 weeks. "Before they reach Earth," she replied. Taemin nodded slowly. "Then it is time. Send activation codes to all colonial commands. Inform President Lee that we are moving to Phase 3. "Sir, are you sure we are ready?" Major Han asked. "Once we begin, there will be no going back." Taemin looked at the star charts on his wall. Red dots marked known alien military bases. Blue dots showed human scout positions. Green dots indicated something the aliens did not know existed: human colonies hidden across dozens of star systems, all armed and ready for war. "We have been ready for 50 years, he said quietly. "The Council thinks they are the hunters, but they are about to learn that humans are the apex predators in this galaxy." Dr. So-Young Park was in her laboratory when the activation order came. She looked at the biological samples she had been studying, DNA from every alien species in the Council. Years of diplomatic handshakes, shared meals, and friendly conversations had given humans access to the genetic codes of their enemies. "Begin. Preparation of tactical biological agents," she told her team. "Full spectrum deployment, all 47 target species." As alarms began to sound in secret bases across Earth, the planet that the aliens thought was helpless began to show its true face. Hidden shipyards opened their doors. Weapons that had been disguised as research stations powered up their systems. Deep space communication arrays that had pretended to be primitive radio. Telescopes began coordinating with colonies the Council never knew existed. The Council was coming to destroy Earth. They had no idea that Earth was already coming for them. War Coordinator Thexnerian stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. His research fleet was the largest ever assembled by the Galactic Council, 300 ships from 20 different species, all armed with weapons that could crack planets. "Preliminary scans show no defensive installations," reported his sensor officer, a crystalline being whose body flashed different colors as it spoke. "The planet appears to be completely undefended. What about their orbital platforms?" Thexnerian asked. His black armor shifted and changed shape as he moved, adapting to his body's needs. "Gone, sir. It appears they have been abandoned. We are detecting no power signatures, no life signs, nothing." Thexnerian felt uneasy. Intelligence reports had suggested the humans might try to resist, but this was too easy. "What about the cities?" "Dark, sir. No power, no communications. No signs of life. It is as if the entire planet has been evacuated." On the other side of the solar system, Admiral Hai-Rin Song watched the alien fleet from the bridge of her own ship. Her vessel, the Eternal Victory, was hidden behind Earth's moon, invisible to alien sensors. Around her, 50 human ships waited in perfect silence. "Target analysis complete," reported her tactical officer, Commander Junesio Park. "Their ships are spread out in a standard research formation. They are not expecting resistance." "Good," Admiral Song replied. Her ship was larger than any vessel in the alien fleet, but it appeared to be nothing more than empty space. "Dr. Park, are the surface installations ready?" Dr. So-Young Park's voice came over the communication system from her command center deep beneath Earth's surface. "All systems are active. The cities have been prepared according to plan." What the aliens saw as abandoned cities were actually the most sophisticated traps ever built. Every building, every street, every park had been designed to study and capture any alien force that landed on Earth. The planet's population was safe in underground cities that had been built over decades, connected by tunnels that stretched across continents. The Xnarian ordered his fleet to begin landing operations. Send the first wave to the largest population centers. We need biological samples and technology assessments. Transport ships descended toward Earth's surface, filled with alien soldiers and scientists. They expected to find primitive humans cowering in fear. Instead, they found something much more dangerous. The first transport landed in what used to be New York City. The alien soldiers spread out through empty streets, their weapons ready for any threat. What they did not notice were the tiny sensors embedded in every surface, recording their movement patterns, their biological signatures, and the way their equipment worked. No resistance detected, the squad leader reported back to his ship. Beginning sample collection. But as the aliens moved deeper into the city, the trap began to close. Buildings that looked empty suddenly came alive with hidden weapons. Streets that seemed normal revealed concealed barriers that cut off escape routes. The sky itself seemed to turn against them as invisible defensive systems. Activated, General Wu Jin Nam watched from his command center as the alien forces walked into his carefully prepared maze. Phase 1 complete. All landing forces are isolated and contained. Excellent, replied Dr. So-Young Park. Begin biological analysis. I want complete genetic profiles on every alien species within the hour. The aliens in the cities found themselves facing weapons they had never seen before. Human technology did not work the way alien technology worked. Where aliens used energy, weapons that could be blocked by shields, humans used kinetic weapons that punched through any defense. Where aliens relied on computer-controlled systems, humans used tactics that no computer could predict. More importantly, the humans had studied alien biology for months. They knew exactly where to hit each species to cause maximum damage. They knew which gases would poison each type of alien. They knew which frequencies of sound would disrupt their nervous systems. Captain Sujin Lee commanded the destroyer Defiant Storm as it decloaked behind the alien fleet. Her ship appeared on alien sensors like a ghost, becoming solid, larger, and more heavily armed than anything they had expected from primitive humans. Open fire, she commanded. The alien ships had shields designed to stop energy weapons. They were not prepared for the massive solid projectiles that the human ships launched at incredible speeds. Alien hulls that had never been penetrated by any weapon cracked and shattered under the impact of human kinetic strikes. Impossible, the Xnarian shouted as his flagship shook under repeated hits. Their weapons should not be able to penetrate our defenses. His tactical officer was frantically working at his control station. Sir, they are using solid projectiles accelerated to near light speed. Our shields are designed for energy weapons. They are completely ineffective against physical impacts. Around the alien fleet, more human ships appeared as if they were materializing from nothing. Each one was different from the others, as if humans had built their fleet specifically to counter every type of alien vessel. Admiral Song opened communication channels to the alien fleet. Her image appeared on screens throughout their ships. A calm human woman in a simple uniform. Attention alien vessels, she said. You are surrounded and outgunned. Surrender now, and you will be treated according to the laws of war. The Xnarian could not believe what he was hearing. You think you can defeat the combined might of the Galactic Council? We have weapons that can destroy stars. And yet, Admiral, Song replied, you cannot hit a single human ship. Your star-killing weapons are useless if you cannot target what you want to destroy. It was true. The alien fleet's massive weapons were designed to attack planets and space stations. They were too slow and clumsy to hit the fast, maneuverable human ships. Every shot the aliens fired missed, while human weapons found their targets with deadly accuracy. In space battles, the aliens discovered that their automated systems were a weakness rather than a strength. Human ships were controlled by living crews who could adapt and improvise. When alien computers calculated the most logical tactical response, human commanders would do something completely unexpected. Captain Minho Park brought his ship, Silent Thunder, alongside an alien cruiser. Instead of attacking from a distance, He used a boarding torpedo to punch through the alien hull. Human Marines stormed aboard the alien ship, fighting in the corridors with weapons and tactics the aliens had never encountered. The alien crew tried to use their standard defensive protocols, but nothing worked against the human invaders. Where alien Marines were trained to fight in formation using coordinated energy weapons, humans fought as individuals using whatever they could find as weapons. They fight like madmen, reported one alien Marine. They use furniture, broken pipes, even their own bodies as weapons. Nothing in our training prepared us for this. Back on his flagship, Dexnarian watched his fleet being destroyed piece by piece. Ships that had never been defeated in 1,000 years of war were being torn apart by humans, who had supposedly just learned to travel between planets. "Sir," his communication officer reported, "we are receiving surrender requests from 12 of our ships. The humans have disabled their engines and weapon systems." "This is impossible," Dexnarian muttered. "They were supposed to be primitive. Our intelligence said they had barely reached their own moon." Admiral Song's voice filled his bridge again. "Your intelligence was wrong about many things, War Coordinator. Perhaps it is time you learned the truth about humans." "What truth?" Dexnarian demanded. "The truth," Admiral Song replied, "is that we have been watching you for much longer than—" "You have been watching us?" "The truth is that your superior technology is centuries behind what humans have developed. And the truth is that you just attacked the wrong species." As if to prove her point, the space around Earth suddenly filled with human ships. Not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands of vessels of every size and design. They had been hidden throughout the solar system, waiting for this moment. Dexnarian realized with growing horror that this had all been planned. The empty cities, the lack of defenses, even Earth's application to join the Council, all of it had been designed to bring the alien fleet here, where humans could study them and learn their weaknesses. "Fall back!" He ordered his remaining ships. All vessels, retreat to hyperspace. But when his ships tried to activate their faster-than-light drives, nothing happened. The human fleet had deployed some kind of field that prevented hyperspace jumps. They were trapped. Admiral Song's final message was broadcast not just to the alien fleet, but to every world in Council space. "This is Admiral Hyrin Song of the Terran Defense Fleet, speaking to the Galactic Council. Your research fleet has been defeated. Your ships and crews are now prisoners of Earth. You wanted to study humans. Now you will learn what we are truly capable of." The news of the research fleet's destruction spread across the galaxy like wildfire. In council chambers on 100 different worlds, alien leaders stared at reports they could not believe. An entire military fleet, the most powerful force ever assembled, had been defeated by humans. Arch-Counselor Zinthik of the Void Touched called an emergency session. His species was older than most stars, and he had never seen anything like this in his million-year lifespan. His body was made of dark energy that absorbed light, making him look like a hole in space shaped like a person. "Explain to me," he said to the assembled council, "how a species that could barely reach their own moon has destroyed 300 of our finest warships." Valterian stood to answer, but his usual confidence was gone. His starlight body flickered with what could only be fear. "The humans... they are not what we thought they were." "Obviously," Zinthik replied coldly. "The question is, what are they?" The answer came from an unexpected source. A quantum communication channel opened, and the image of Professor Donghayan Ru appeared in the council chamber. He was an elderly human man with kind eyes and a gentle smile, standing in what looked like a simple university office. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council," Professor Ru said, "I am here to help you understand what you are really dealing with." "You dare contact us directly?" demanded Valterian. "After your species has committed an act of war?" "Professor." Ru's smile never wavered. "Act of war? You sent a fleet to destroy our world. We simply defended ourselves. But I am not here to argue about who started this conflict. I am here to tell you the truth about humanity." The professor gestured, and images began appearing in the council chamber. Pictures of human ships that were clearly not primitive. Maps showing human colonies across dozens of star systems. Technical diagrams of weapons that should not exist. You see, Professor Rue continued, humans have been traveling between the stars for over 200 years. We just never told you about it. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Alien voices filled the air with sounds of shock, anger, and fear. Arch-Counselor Zinthik raised his hand for silence. Impossible, he said. We would have detected any advanced civilization in this region of the galaxy. Would you? Asked another human voice. Dr. Haewon Kim appeared next to Professor Rue. She was Earth's chief historian, and she had been waiting her entire career for this moment. Let me tell you a story, Dr. Kim said. 250 years ago, a human scientist named Dr. Chun Wei detected radio signals from space. Not random noise, but organized communications. Your communications. New images appeared, old Earth documents, faded photographs, and technical drawings from centuries past. Dr. Chun spent his life learning to understand your languages. When he died, his students continued his work. By the time you made official contact with Earth, we had been listening to your conversations for 200 years. Valterian's body pulsed with disbelief. Even if that were true, listening to our communications would not give you the technology to build starships. Professor Rue laughed softly. You are right. But crashed alien ships would. More images appeared, wreckage from alien vessels that had crashed on Earth over the centuries. Human scientists studying the remains and the slow development of human technology based on alien designs. Your ships are not perfect, Dr. Kim explained. Over the past 200 years, 17 alien vessels have crashed on Earth due to mechanical failures, navigation errors, or simple accidents. We studied every piece of wreckage. We did not just copy your technology, Professor Rue added. We improved it. You see, your species have grown comfortable with what you have. You stopped trying to make things better because what you had was good enough. Humans do not think that way, Dr. Kim said. We always try to make things better, faster, stronger. When we found your crashed ships, we did not just rebuild them. We redesigned them. The images now showed human shipyards, but not the primitive facilities the aliens had expected. These were massive construction platforms hidden in asteroid belts and behind moons. Ships were being built that dwarfed anything in the alien fleets. Intelligence Director Sung-Hoon Park joined the conversation. His appearance was unremarkable, a middle-aged man in a simple uniform, but his words shook the council to its core. We have been watching you for decades, he said calmly. Every world in council space has human observers. Some of you have worked with humans for years without knowing it. He gestured, and new images appeared. Aliens from every species in the council, but something was wrong with the pictures. The images seemed to shift and change, revealing human faces underneath alien features. Biomimetic suits, Director Park explained. Grown from genetic samples we collected during diplomatic meetings. Our agents have attended your military briefings, your private councils, even your secret planning sessions. Valterian felt something he had not experienced in thousands of years, true terror. How many of you are there? More than you might think, replied another voice. Commander Taemin Choi appeared on the screen, now wearing the uniform of a Terran fleet commander. Less than you might fear, but we have been very busy. New star charts appeared showing the galaxy from a human perspective. Red dots marked alien military bases, all of them with human ships nearby. Green dots showed human colonies, scattered throughout council space like seeds. We did not just hide our existence, Commander Choi explained. We guided yours. When your expansion fleets chose new systems to colonize, they were following navigation data we had subtly altered. You avoided systems we wanted for ourselves. When your scientists made breakthrough discoveries, they were actually finding research data we had planted in their databases, added Dr. Yoonji Yang, appearing on screen in her laboratory. Half of your advances in the past 50 years came from human technology that we let you find. The scope of human infiltration was staggering. The crystalline hegemony discovered that their recent improvements in shield technology had come from manipulated data exchanges. The Zephyrian Collective learned that their new faster-than-light engines were based on human designs. Even the ancient Etherian Empire found that some of their most trusted advisors had been human agents. But the most shocking revelation came from War Coordinator, the Exnarian himself. His image appeared on the council screens, transmitted from his prison cell aboard a human ship. "Council members," he said, his voice filled with defeat, "I have seen their true capabilities. The fleet that defeated us was not their main force. It was a training exercise." "What do you mean?" demanded Arch-Counselor Zinthik. The Exnarian S armor had lost its color, turning gray with despair. "They have shipyards in a dozen star systems. They have weapons that can destroy suns. They have colonies in places we never knew existed. The humans we fought were their local defense force." Commander Choi confirmed this with terrifying casualness. "The War Coordinator is correct. What you saw at Earth was Security Fleet 7, responsible for protecting our solar system. We have 12 other fleets of similar size, plus the main battle fleet." "How large is your main battle fleet?" asked a council member whose voice shook with fear. "Large enough," Commander Choi replied. "But size is not the only advantage we have. We know everything about your military capabilities, your political structures, and your economic systems. You know almost nothing about ours." Professor Ru stepped forward again. "This brings us to the real question. What happens now?" The council chamber fell silent. Every alien representative was thinking the same thing. If humans had been planning this for centuries, what did they want? "You have 3 choices," Commander Choi said. "First, you can try to fight us. We do not recommend this option. Second, you can try to negotiate. We are willing to discuss terms for peaceful coexistence. Third," Professor Ru added with his gentle smile, "you can surrender." "Surrender?" Valterian S' voice was filled with outrage. "The Galactic Council has ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years. "And now your time is over," replied Dr. Kim simply. "The question is whether it ends with negotiation or conquest." Arch-Counselor Zinthik asked the question every council member was thinking. What do humans want? Commander Choi's answer was simple and terrifying. What every intelligent species wants: to survive and prosper. The difference is that we are very good at making sure we get what we want. "You wanted to study primitive humans," Professor Ru added. "Instead, you discovered that humans have been studying you. The students have become the teachers." As the transmission ended, the council chamber erupted in panicked discussions. Some members wanted to fight. Others wanted to negotiate. A few were already preparing to surrender, but one thing was clear to everyone in the chamber. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humans had revealed themselves not as primitive newcomers begging to join galactic civilization, but as patient predators who had been planning this moment for centuries. The council had laughed at humans. Now they had to decide whether they would kneel to them. The largest military force in galactic history assembled in the void between star systems. Ships from all 47 council species formed a fleet so massive it blocked out entire sections of stars. At its head was the Grand Purification Fleet, led by Valterian himself aboard the massive dreadnought Eternal Dominion. "This ends today," Valterian announced to his fleet commanders. "Humanity will be wiped from existence before they can spread their infection to other worlds." The alien fleet moved toward human space like a storm of metal and energy. Every species had contributed their most powerful warships. The Etherian Empire brought vessels that could manipulate gravity itself. The Zephyrian Collective deployed ships that could phase in and out of normal space. The Nexus Hegemony contributed Planet Killer, weapons that had never failed to destroy their targets, but waiting for them in the darkness was something the aliens had never seen before: supreme. Admiral Ji Yun Choi stood on the bridge of Terra's Wrath, a ship so large that it could be seen from the surface of nearby planets. Her vessel was not just a warship, but a mobile fortress, carrying entire fleets within its hull. "Enemy fleet detected," reported her sensor officer, Commander Yura Kim. Estimate 12,000 ships of various classes. How many ships do we have? Admiral Choi asked calmly. 15,000 in the immediate area, Commander Kim replied. Another 30,000 in reserve positions. The numbers were staggering, but what mattered was not how many ships each side had, but what those ships could do. The aliens were about to learn that human technology had advanced far beyond anything they had imagined. Chief Engineer Kyung-Soo Lim activated Terra's Wrath's primary weapon system. The ship's gravity manipulators created invisible hands that could reach across space and crush alien vessels like empty cans. Entire squadrons of Council ships simply collapsed into twisted metal as their hulls were compressed by forces no armor could resist. Impossible? Valterian shouted as he watched his vanguard disappear. No species has mastered gravity manipulation to this degree. His tactical officer, a being made of living crystal that flashed different colors when upset, was rapidly analyzing the human weapons. Sir, they are not just manipulating gravity. They are manipulating space itself. Our defensive systems have no response to these attacks. Around the main battle, smaller engagements showed just how outmatched the Council forces were. Human ships phased in and out of normal dimensions, appearing behind alien vessels and disappearing before return fire could reach them. Captain Bio Young commanded a squadron of dimension-jumping fighters that struck alien capital ships and vanished before the enemy could react, but the most terrifying human weapon was not a ship or a gun. It was knowledge. Dr. J. Hyam Park released his biological warfare agents from hidden platforms scattered throughout the battle zone. Nanoscopic machines, smaller than viruses, began targeting the alien crews. Each species faced a different threat, custom designed to attack their specific biology. Etherian Empire crews found their energy-based bodies losing cohesion as nano-agents disrupted their quantum fields. Zephyrian collective members discovered that their shared consciousness was being blocked by microscopic interference. Nexus hegemony warriors watched in horror as their cybernetic implants turned against them. We are under biological attack, reported a Council ship's medical officer. The weapons are targeting our genetic structure directly. How do they know our biology well enough to design such weapons? Demanded another captain. The answer came from Admiral Choi herself, broadcast across all Council frequencies. We know your biology because you gave it to us. Every handshake during diplomatic meetings, every shared meal, every friendly cultural exchange. You handed us samples of your genetic code and never realized what we were doing with them. Valterian felt his starlight body flickering with rage and fear. All ships activate quantum communication jamming. Prevent them from coordinating their attacks. But when the aliens tried to jam human communications, they discovered another unpleasant surprise. Human ships were not using quantum communications. They were using something far more advanced. Commander Dalsu Kim explained to his confused alien prisoners. Quantum communication is fast, but it can be blocked. We use dimensional communication. Our messages travel through spaces that do not exist in your reality. You cannot jam what you cannot detect. The battle became a demonstration of human superiority in every area of warfare. Where aliens used energy weapons that could be blocked by shields, humans used weapons that ignored shields entirely. Where aliens relied on automated systems, humans used unpredictable tactics no computer could counter. Captain Sumin Lee commanded the destroyer Dancing Blade as it weaved through a formation of alien cruisers. Her ship moved like it was alive, dodging weapons fire and striking back with precision that seemed impossible. How are they moving like that? Asked an alien gunner. Their ship changes direction faster than our targeting systems can track. They are not following the laws of physics as we understand them, replied his commander. Their ships seem to be using some form of inertial control we have never seen. The answer was simpler than the aliens thought. Human ships did not fight the laws of physics. They had learned to use different laws. While alien technology worked within the rules of normal space, Human technology worked with rules from dimensions where space and time behaved differently. As the battle continued, it became clear that the Council fleet was not just losing, it was being systematically destroyed. Human commanders were not simply trying to win the fight. They were studying alien tactics and technology even as they demolished them. Planetary Defense Coordinator Mina Yun watched the battle from Earth's command center. When she determined that the aliens had seen enough of human capabilities, she activated humanity's ultimate deterrent. 3 star systems under Council control suddenly began to collapse. Their suns, ancient and stable for billions of years, started to implode as human technology triggered artificial stellar collapse. The light from the dying stars would be visible across the galaxy as a warning that could not be ignored. Attention Galactic Council, Mina broadcast to every world in Council space. You are witnessing controlled stellar collapse. We can make any star in the galaxy go nova at will. Your homeworlds, your colonies, your hidden bases, none of them are safe from us. The message was clear: humans could destroy entire star systems whenever they chose. The Council's planet-killer weapons seemed primitive compared to technology that could murder suns. Aboard the Eternal Dominion, Valterian watched his mighty fleet being torn apart by forces he could not understand. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds were being destroyed by weapons that should not exist. Crews that had never known defeat were surrendering rather than face human wrath. "Sir," his communication officer reported, "we are receiving surrender requests from over 3,000 ships. The fleet is breaking apart." Valterian stared at the tactical display. Red dots representing destroyed Council ships filled the screen like drops of blood. The few remaining blue dots were retreating in all directions, abandoning the battle. And their comrades? "Open a channel to the human fleet," he ordered quietly. Admiral Choi's image appeared on his screen. She looked tired but satisfied, like someone who had completed a long and difficult job. "Are you ready to surrender, Valterian?" she asked. "What choice do I have?" he replied. "You have destroyed the greatest fleet in galactic history." "We have," Admiral Choi agreed. "But this was not our greatest fleet. This was a training exercise for our younger officers. Our veteran fleets are stationed around every Council homeworld, waiting for our signal." The scope of human preparation was breathtaking. While the Council had assembled one massive fleet, humans had distributed smaller forces throughout the galaxy. Every important alien world was already under human guns. Dr. Seijin O, Earth's xenopsychologist, delivered the final message to the defeated Council. "You laughed at humans because you thought we were weak. But we are not weak. We are patient. You thought we were primitive? But we are not primitive. We are careful. You thought we were your subjects, but we are not your subjects. We are your replacements." The surrender ceremony took place in the same Council chambers where humans had once been rejected. But now the roles were reversed. Valterian and the other Council leaders knelt before Ambassador Hyan Wu, now elevated to High Commissioner of Galactic Affairs. "The Galactic Council hereby surrenders to the Terran hegemony," Valterian said, his voice barely above a whisper. "We beg for mercy and the right to serve Earth's growing empire." Hyan Wu looked down at the beings who had once laughed at humanity. "Your request for mercy is granted. Your species will be allowed to continue existing, but as subjects of Earth, you will serve us as you once forced others to serve you." In the final scene, Director of Colonial Expansion Yura Kim stood before a massive star chart in Earth's new Imperial Command Center. The map showed not just the galaxy they had conquered, but several neighboring galaxies where human colony ships had been secretly establishing footholds for generations. Red zones marked areas under complete human control. Yellow zones showed regions in the process of being absorbed. Green zones indicated territories where human agents